have initiated simulcasting the radio show at prisonplanet.tv. Joining us from the Bilderberg Group meeting 2009 is American Free Press writer Jim Tucker, author of the Bilderberg Group Diary. Available at Infowars.com, I would add. Jim, with breaking news on the arrest of a bunch of reporters, the police state, and most importantly, every year, you hear it here first, inside knowledge from Bilderberg Group contacts of what's happening. We're now into the first full day of the conference. It's now 8 o'clock there in Greece. Jim Tucker, tell us what's happening.
Well, today, Carl Bildt made a speech advocating the turning the World Health Organization into World Department of Health, advocating turning the IMF, International Monetary Fund, into a World Department of Treasury, both, of course, under the auspices of the United Nations. And, of course, this would be a giant step toward world government, an issue that's frustrated them now for more than a decade, their efforts. But whether or not they go all the way, either event would represent a significant surrender of national sovereignty. So, well, he made the case about how the world is in such horrible economic shape that it takes a global super agency to fix the problem. And because of they tripped over their facts when they invented the swine flu disease, the swine flu pandemic, as they called it. He shifted gears and fell back on an old, decades-old Bilderberg theme of global warming. We're all going to burn to death. Well, in the hereafter he will, but...
Jim Tucker, I must interrupt you in the limited time we have. I know you're busy. Jim, are you telling me they said they invented the latest swine flu?
No, I said they did, because it was Bilderberg luminaries who first said, gee, we have this bad pandemic. It was not a bad pandemic. Every year, on average, 300,000 Americans get a flu. Every year, on average, 30,000 Americans die of flu. Now, how many people have died of swine flu? What is too many? But it certainly does not represent a pandemic.
And they admit both those were sick. So I see your point. And plus, they're now using it, as they've said, to set up a new world order. You're saying they're saying that internally in the meeting. Continue. What else is on the agenda? What about the global carbon tax, the global court? You said you were getting some initial reports of that. What else is on the agenda, Jim?
That is on the agenda, and plus overlooked by many people, is the fact that it's some type of a direct tax on all the world has been long on the Bilderberg agenda. There's 3 such bills pending before the United Nations, and have been for years. And they're trying to pick a time when they can slip it through without knowing anybody being really aware of it. Now, their favorite global tax has always been a tax on oil at the barrel head. It'll start off like the income tax did, very low, maybe a penny a barrel. When you buy a gallon of gasoline, you would not even notice that you're paying 2 pennies to the United Nations because you bought 2 gallons of gas. You wouldn't even know. Years ago by, you would not even be aware that when you put gas in your car, or your lawnmower for that matter, or any purpose, you are paying a direct tax to the United Nations. That's a symbol of global sovereignty. And, of course, like federal income tax, it would increase over the years, and people are grown, and then when they're get a listing saying that so much federal tax, so much state tax, so much, in some cases, county tax, and, oh, yes, UN tax, too.
All right, Jim Tucker, we got a break, quick break. You'll have 3 minutes. We're going to come back for another 6-7 minutes, then let you go. When you get back next week, we'll get the full report also coming out in AmericanFreePress.net. But he is the author of Jim Tucker's Bilderberg Diary. Absolutely essential. You can get it at Infowars.com. Jim Tucker, a living legend, a true reporter, straw hat and all, when we get back. We are back live. It's Bilderberg 2009 Frontline exclusives from the Kingpin Bilderberg Hunter. 34 years hunting these guys. He's the reason you're seeing it in the mainstream media today, and the reason we have governments going after him. Jim, one comment for you. It's up on prisonplanet.com today. A member of the Dutch Parliament is asking the finance minister, the prime minister, and others, and the Queen, if they're attending Bilderberg and trying to ram through EU expansion in the Lisbon Treaty. Were you aware of this breaking development?
Not about the Queen and whoever, but I know that was on the agenda today, and there is much discussion about getting the Irish to sign on to the Lisbon Treaty, because if all EU countries have to endorse, or it could not happen. And the Irish voted down before. They're going to try to make them vote again and torture them and pressure them into voting, reversing themselves. And the Irish did not want to surrender that much sovereignty. Of course, they've already, all those countries have surrendered significant sovereignty. I mean, the European Parliament can make laws and impose them on member states. The European Court can make rulings and overturn laws of member states, and they have. Yet they want to make it stronger. And the Irish said no in the first referendum. In fact, polls in Germany and France showed that the people strongly opposed the Lisbon Treaty. But in Germany and France, the head of state can sign off on it whether they like it or not. Ireland requires a referendum. The first time it failed, they planned a meeting in June, about June 18, 19, something like that, to try to pressure the Irish voters into reversing themselves. Bilderberg plans to send a group up there privately to talk privately to the leaders of Ireland, to pressure them to tell their citizens it's good for you. You'll eat better. You'll live longer.
Okay,
so
Jim.
We'll have to see how that plays out.
Jim, and the limited time is I have quite a few other questions. Just in the short notes, what else is on their agenda from your sources inside Bilderberg?
Well, I think they had mentioned this yesterday, but President Obama is being pressured. Well, he's willingly accepted the job of trying to slip through ratification of the International Criminal Court treaty. Now, when Bilderberg Clinton first signed off on it, a test vote in Congress showed that more than 90 senators voting against it, so he did not submit it for ratification. When Little Bush was elected, he withdrew the signature. When Obama was elected, he put the signature back on so it could go before the Senate any time. But their tactics are this. Obama is the sweet talk with the many left-wing Democrats in Congress who would really want to vote for the International Criminal Court treaty. They really want to. They're just scared because patriots, maybe you had something to do with this, maybe I did too, were so strongly opposed to surrendering sovereignty that they were afraid to vote for it, political cowards. So Obama's going to sweet talk it and say, don't worry, we'll have more left-wing Congress, or he'll probably say more liberals, Senate, after the 2010 elections. So in January of 2011, when the new Senate is seated, you can ratify it late on a Saturday night. It's too late for Sunday morning papers, too late to replan the Sunday talk shows, and won't even make the Monday papers. It'll happen. Nobody will know. You'll suffer no political reprisals, and we can be a member of the International Criminal Court.
And for those that don't know, Jim, I mean, for those that don't know, this will put Americans under the jurisdiction of foreign hate speech laws, being arrested for criticizing open borders. You know, Michael Savage can't come to Europe, banning internet freedom, all of that.